Welcome back to the studio. It is Brad Maybe, and I am sitting here with Johan and Frederick, the bass player and drummer, respectively, of The Sounds. And if you are unfamiliar with the band, they are from Helsingborg. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Helsingborg, Sweden. They've been described as new wave, I guess because of their synth pop leanings. Is that safe to say?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Okay, all right. And you might know them from their 2003 debut album, Living in America, which was kind of a modest hit for them there. You guys done the Warped Tour twice. You've toured with bands like the Foo Fighters, the Strokes, Angels and Airwaves, Panic at the Disco. And if you are still unfamiliar with The Sounds, and I actually kind of like this, the most notoriety I think you might have in the States is a Geico commercial. The song where it was called Hurt You, where the two cavemen, which is actually pretty cool. The cavemen are like pop icons in this country, which is really bizarre that it's this mix of commercialism and sort of hipness. But the cavemen were getting off the motorcycle, and then the hot chicks were standing there. Your song was playing. They see the caveman billboard, and then they get all pissed and turned away. And the funny thing is, that song works so perfectly in that commercial. How did that come about, getting the Geico spot? Did they just come to you, or?
Yeah, I think so. And we were like talking about it in our studio back in Sweden. Like, insurance company. We're like, oh, maybe we shouldn't do it. And then, oh, it's Geico. And then we looked it up and we're like, oh, this is really cool. And like, sure, let's release out the song to them because it's a cool thing.
It was a cool thing. And a lot of times now, like maybe 15 going back 20 years ago, a band doing commercial, you get the sellout label. But now I know young bands, up-and-coming bands, actively pursue getting the commercials because 10 million people will hear that commercial or hear that song in the commercial. Like, look at Matt and Kim. They're like this little duo from Brooklyn. They're in a Bacardi rum commercial that more people will see them or hear their song in a Bacardi rum commercial than will actually hear them on the radio, or they'll go out of their way to discover them. I'm sure your like Google searches went through the roof after that Geico spot landed.
I guess
think so too.
Like coming into the States after that, it was at the border, and the border police who fill out your form and whatever, check out your visa. He was like, so what do you do? I'm like, artist, musician. He's like, what band? Really like hard. The Sounds. And he like shined up and like, oh, I just downloaded your song last night from the Geico commercial. Then you realize how widespread it is to get on it.
Yeah, the one other thing about that song is, like, Maya does most of the singing for The Sounds, and that clip of that song, it's like you don't hear her at all. And I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, is that a Sound song? Where's the chick? Because it was like it kind of threw you back. But it was definitely a cool thing to do. And I wanted to ask you guys, you just kicked off a tour with the Foxy Shazam, I think this past weekend in Canada, right?
Yeah, that is correct.
How's it going so far? Was there any opening night jitters, setbacks, or was it you guys a well-oiled machine when you hit the road?
Well, a little bit of nerves in the beginning. We're like trying out new sets, like the order of the songs. And
actually, the first show was also like a festival in Canada.
Was it in Montreal? I think you guys kicked off.
Quebec,
yeah.
Okay.
And then Montreal for the first real tour day.
Did you guys play Toronto yet?
Yes.
I think I read an interview. I was reading some old interviews, and I can't remember who said it in the band that they really liked playing Toronto. Is it a cool town for you guys to play?
It's a good city.
I like Toronto.
I grew up about an hour and a half away in Buffalo, New York, so I spent a lot of time in Toronto. And like living in Buffalo, nobody plays Buffalo, so if you wanted to see a show,
we played Buffalo once.
You did? How did it go?
I can't remember.
Not so good.
Not so good. How is the Foxy Shazam? Did you guys know them before you hit the road together, or first?
No.
So seeing them live for the week, what do you think?
I think they're awesome. They're cool to see. They're really entertaining, and when you see them live, you sort of get the feeling that they're gonna be really crazy people, But they're really nice guys, like backstage, and it's like totally opposite of what I thought when I saw the show,
It's funny that you say that they're weird, because they were just here maybe like a half an hour before you guys, and another gentleman, Stabwalt, interviewed them. And he walked out of the studio, and we're like, how did it go? And he's just like, they're kind of weird. And it was funny, their persona when they were being interviewed, and then when they were out in the hall thanking us and saying goodbye, they seemed like two different guys, which I'm assuming is their stage presence, and then their...
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right, let's talk about the new record, Crossing the Rubicon. It is the band's third. What's the significance of the name? Who came up with that?
That's probably me. Well, first of all, I thought it sounded really good, and I thought it had something to do with what we were doing at the moment, which was deciding whether we should like pursue like working with record labels, or we should just, finance everything ourselves and just
a Radiohead thing?
take all the decisions by ourselves. So I don't know, it just felt like something that fit into where we were at the moment. So it basically just means like we took the decision to do everything ourselves, start our own label and stuff like that, record our own album by ourselves, choose the producers, choose the studios and all that.
Okay. So you're crossing the Rubicon was making all those decisions to do it for yourself?
Once you decide you're going to take that decision, it's hard to go back, I don't want to go back, but...
Well, it's funny, after you described it that way, like, as an American, the only thing I could think of, you should have just called it in the States crossing the Delaware, like George Washington did it back in our Revolution. You guys familiar with that at all?
A little bit. Okay. Wasn't that a ship as well, the Delaware?
No, was there a ship called the Delaware? Well, it's a river in Philadelphia, and Washington had to cross it in the winter there to get over to Valley Forge and kick some English ass or something like that. I don't even know, and I'm an American. What are some of your favorite tracks on Crossing the Rubicon?
That kind of changes from day to day, I think. Today my favorite is Underground. What do you think, Johan?
I was just about to say the same song.
Underground?
Yeah. We just recently started playing that song live as well, so it's kind of fresh.
Is your opinion on your favorite song based on how fun it is to play on stage, or how you feel when you hear it?
How you feel when you hear it.
Okay.
But it helps with the stage.
What's the ultimate most fun song to play for you guys? Like when this one comes up on the set list, you're like, all right, I'm gonna have some fun.
I mean, Underground is not complicated to play, so it's not like a fun.
So you're going the lazy road. So if it's easy to play, that's what you.
No, I don't know.
But it's like
I would say my favorite song to play at the moment could be "Tone of the Beat." That song is really fun to play live.
Okay. And a very hot video.
Yeah.
I've often, and I swear to God this is true, I have often gone to IKEA just to have lunch, the Swedish meatballs and the lingonberry jam. Is it just like it is in Sweden, or is the IKEA version here in America, if you've had it, not as good?
We've been to the...
We do the same thing.
Yeah, we've been
go
to
IKEA to get Swedish food when we're on tour.
I've literally gone, because there's one right here on the turnpike that I've
But
I've
people
gone
do
there
it wrong,
lunch.
though. People have French fries with their meatballs. Totally disgusting.
I've seen that IKEA here in the States.
It's not good.
Well, we fucking
either
put
mashed
we put
potatoes
French
or
fries
boiled
on
potatoes.
everything.
Yeah.
Mashed potatoes, boiled potatoes, the brown gravy, lingonberries, meatballs, and maybe pickles.
I have bought
No French fries whatsoever.
Well, the side dish aside. So, but the lingonberry jam and the meatballs at IKEA are pretty much like we're getting them in Sweden.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because they're fucking delicious.
Yeah,
and they're so cheap. They'll give you like a plate of like 20 of them for like $5.
Yep.
I've actually bought the lingonberry jam and the frozen meatballs to take home, and I've made them at home.
Do you like the lingonberry jam?
I absolutely love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And what is it? Can you only get a lingonberry in Sweden?
I don't know.
I've had friends that we've had this discussion because we absolutely love the IKEA meatballs and the lingonberry jam. And I don't know. I should have, as lazy as I am, should have Googled the whole lingonberry history.
You probably can get it in other Scandinavian countries at least. I don't know. Maybe Germany too.
I don't know. I haven't seen it there.
Oh, I don't know. It's good though.
All right. Well, speaking of French fries, are you guys playing Pittsburgh on this tour?
We just did.
You just did. Well, you got to go to a place called Permane Brothers, where they throw the French fries and coleslaw right on sandwiches.
Oh.
And it's probably the best sandwich you'll ever have.
Delicious.
Yes. Next time you're in Pittsburgh. All right. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for coming in. I hope you have a great tour with the Foxy Shazam. You guys are on the road right now. I believe you can go to friendsorenemies.com to get the full details of that tour. And I want to thank you, Johan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And Frederick, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.